What this is all about in its simplest form is getting out of your head and into your body, because it's in your head where most of the trouble lies. This is definitely the case with PMDD. PMDD is a sensitivity in the brain that affects the way we respond to normal hormonal shifts throughout the menstrual cycle. This can cause intense emotions that feel impossible to manage. You can take back control by understanding your body and learn how to shift your state. It's important to recognize that while PMDD can be overwhelming, small and consistent changes in how we interact with our bodies and emotions can make a really big difference. By integrating mindful techniques, we can work towards regaining a sense of control, even in the midst of heightened emotions. The more we practice these skills, the easier and more naturally they will come to us when we need them the most. It's not easy, but baby steps. PMDD isn't caused by hormonal imbalances, it's about how our brain reacts to normal hormonal changes. The rise of progesterone in the luteal phase creates a byproduct called allopregnanolone, which interacts with the GABA receptors in our brain. These receptors regulate emotion, and for those of us with PMDD, they don't work properly, leading to heightened emotional sensitivity and reduced control over our reactions. When you experience PMDD symptoms, it's not a matter of being too emotional or lacking self-control. It's a biological response that can be managed with the right tools. Understanding this is key to reducing self-blame and focusing on solutions that work with your body's natural rhythms. So if you felt like no matter how you try, you can't stop yourself from reacting in extreme ways, it's not about willpower or discipline or being a terrible person. It's about working with your brain and your body rather than against them. While we may not have control over the way that our own brain responds to the hormones, we do have control over how we use our bodies, and that can really change everything. Really, what this is all about in its simplest form is getting out of your head and into your body, because it's in your head where most of the trouble lies. This is definitely the case with PMDD, but I think a lot of people, especially this day and age with being constantly stimulated and constantly achieving and always thinking about things, and we're less physically active, our brains become so overwhelmed and we exist purely in our heads. And it's so easy to get trapped in your heads with thoughts that you can't seem to get out of. And I've been there a million times, stuck in a thought spiral. And the quickest way I have learned to get out of being stuck in my head is to move my awareness into my body. And the quickest, easiest way to do that is through movement, posture, or breathing. And ideally, all three. If you've got all three, then you're laughing, because your awareness into your body will help you feel more present in the moment. Because I think everyone can relate to being so stuck in your head that you're not really living anymore. You're just kind of existing, and you're too busy worrying about the future or thinking about the past, that you're not living your life in the present moment. And by moving your awareness away from just your head into your body, you become more cohesive and connected, and you can be much more present in your life. So even though this is extremely powerful for managing PMDD, it's powerful for anyone. Harvard researcher Amy Cuddy discovered that standing in a power pose for just 2 minutes can dramatically change your hormones. Her study found that holding an expansive open posture increased testosterone by 20%, boosting confidence and resilience. It also decreased cortisol, the stress hormone, by 25%, reducing anxiety. This means that simply shifting your posture, you can send signals to your brain that alter your hormonal state, helping you feel more in control. Even beyond power poses, studies have shown that posture and movement influence our emotions, our thoughts, and our decisions. When we slouch physically or shrink ourselves, we are more likely to experience low confidence and increased stress. On the other hand, adopting an open, upright stance and engaging in purposeful movement, we can improve mood, reduce anxiety, and strengthen emotional resilience. Standing with a strong stance with your feet hip width apart, shoulders back and hands on your hips like Wonder Woman. Lift your chin slightly and take up more space. Hold this position for 2 minutes and notice how your emotions shift. Practice this daily, not just during PMDD episodes, to get into the habit of doing this when you need it the most. The more your body adapts to strong, open postures, the more easily your brain will associate them to the feelings of control and confidence. On to breathing. When we're anxious or overwhelmed, we tend to breathe shallowly. Instead, practice box breathing. Inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds, exhale for 4 seconds, and hold again for 4 seconds. This activates the parasympathetic nervous system, calming down your mind and your body. Deep, slow breathing increases oxygen flow and signals to your brain that it is safe, reducing emotional reactivity. Onto movement. Physical movement changes our state instantly. Try shaking out your body, going for a brisk walk, dancing, stretching, or even simply standing helps regulate emotions by engaging the body's natural rhythm. Gentle stretching and yoga have been shown to have particularly strong benefits in regulating mood, reducing stress, and even improving hormonal balance. I'm obsessed with yoga at the moment. I go to yoga 3 times a week at the very minimum. Sometimes I do extra yoga for myself when I'm feeling particularly down, especially during my luteal phase, because getting myself out of my head and into my body by breathing and moving is just completely game changing. The key to managing PMDD isn't forcing yourself to be stronger or more disciplined. It's about understanding how your brain and your body work in tandem and using that knowledge to your advantage. By shifting your posture, breath, and movement, you can create a sense of control even in your hardest PMDD moments. One additional way to reinforce this sense of control is to develop a preemptive strategy. Tracking your cycle, noting when symptoms begin, and then practicing these techniques before the intense emotions hit can prepare your mind and body to respond more effectively. While it can be difficult to use these tools in tough moments and situations, integrating these techniques into your daily life throughout your cycle can help to form a habit so that it will be easier to turn to them when they are most needed. A helpful way to reinforce these habits is by setting reminders, using visual clues like sticky notes, or integrating them into an existing routine like every time you go to the bathroom. Ultimately, the goal isn't about perfection, it's about progress. Each small step you take in understanding and working with your body brings you closer to feeling empowered and in control. Keep practicing and know that you're not alone in this journey. If this resonated with you and you want to go deeper into managing your PMDD naturally, I'm running a beta test for my PMDD Reclaim Program where we dive into practical, science-backed strategies to help you regain control of your mind and body. You are not broken and you have more power than you think. By applying these techniques consistently, you can create meaningful change in your life. Keep showing up for yourself and remember that small shifts lead to big changes. This was Eleanor, and please like and subscribe if you found this useful. And I hope to see you in my beta test for my PMDD Reclaim Program. See you soon.